Y'all know me. Y'all know what I do for a living. It's Finding Monster Right, the show about finding monsters, right?
Right.
I'm Allie.
I'm Adam. And just when you thought it was safe to get back to podcasting, January strikes again.
Yes, yeah, we're back in... Look, we just recorded an After Dark, and I don't know the order that all of these episodes are going to get released, because it's like a thing where it's like, it's an easy task, but I've just been putting it off for so long that it seems impossible.
We have a bottleneck of recordings.
Yeah. We're going to have to go back and do all the episodes we would have done in the 2 months we took off, but...
It just becomes a never-ending cycle of lost episodes.
Well, now it's also, it's also coinciding now with my early January mental health episode that I always have. See also the Avatar 2 episode that we did last year.
Oh, yeah. I guess January never strikes at the best time of year.
No. Well, that's why. It's beachy vibes.
Beachy vibes in the coldy month.
Mm-hmm. And this year, we're keeping those beaches open.
All season long.
Yeah. We're keeping the beaches open, but you can never go back in the water. What are Jaws 5 through 19 about?
First of all, I'm very happy that we were able to pull off the Jaws January premise.
Yes.
You pitched it, was it 4 years ago or so? It's like, oh yeah, January 2.
Oh, I was so innocent. So young.
January 3D, January The Revenge, matching all the Jaws movies. And then you're like, but wait, there's a Jaws 19 in Back to the Future Part 2.
Well, I think you were the one who brought that up at the end of last January. I thought we were done, and then you pulled me back in.
Yeah, there's technically another 15 more Jawses that happen behind the scenes of the first and second Back to the Future.
Mm-hmm.
So you pitched this premise, and I think it's a really good one that we should talk about what happens in the rest of them.
Yes. So, now, Jaws was originally a Peter Benchley novel. I'm going to look up what year that was written in, because I wrote down so much information about Jaws. 1974. Wow. That's a quick turnaround for that movie.
Oh yeah, back in that era, the books were the hot topics. That was social media and pop culture. When a book came out, it's like, shit, we gotta buy the production values and make a picture quickly.
Well, the first Jaws came out June 20th, 1975. So if the book was published in 1974, then Peter Benchley and oh my lord, oh my god, who else wrote Jaws?
It's just him.
Carl Gottlieb. So Peter Benchley and Carl Gottlieb's screenplay. They must have been writing that at around the same time they were writing the novel.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
Also, I just saw the Wikipedia news that Justin Trudeau announced his intention to resign as Prime Minister of Canada. Great. That worked out so well the first fucking time, Justin. That worked out well with Organism 46B, a victim of a previous January. Now dead.
So, Benchley.
Peter Benchley. So, the first Jaws released June 20th, 1975. It is inspired by the 1916 New Jersey series of shark attacks. The story of a small, peaceable little island town and a New York City cop and his family move to this little resort town, and he becomes the chief of police there. And then
there's a terrorist attack that happens on the beach. He has to tie himself with a fire hose and jump off the beach.
And that's what happens in Jaws.
Those New York City cops
so
get into all kinds of activities.
Jaws 2 comes out June 16th, 1978. And I'm not going to go back and actually explain what happens in Jaws. You fucking know what... Like, this podcast can never be better than the first Jaws movie. Just stop listening to this and go watch that.
Go watch some Jaws. I last watched Jaws last New Year's. I think for the first time all the way through, and I timed it so that the New Year happened when the shark blew up.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
I've never done that, and to be honest, the thought of doing that sucks. I hate, like... Anyway, the first Jaws movie is, as I've learned over the past 24 hours, the only one you have to see. Jaws 2, released June 16th, 1978. Pretty close to Adam's birthday.
Ooh,
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Is this another, like, I Am Secretly the Monster episode?
No. It's just, what is that? 15 years minus 10 days. 15 years minus 6 days off. Wow, what a coincidence.
I don't like looking at the year 1978 and saying that, oh yeah, I'm going to be born in 15 years. I really don't like that.
Too bad. Well, it's like the 70s are like an era.
Yeah.
You know, like that's like cowboy times, the 70s.
Honestly, it's all Cowboys times pre Back to the Future for me.
Yeah, cowboy times, pilgrim times, fucking king times.
Then just knights again.
Yeah. So Jaws 2 is pretty much it's a little bit of a rehash of the first one. It's very similar, except there's the addition of like a bunch of annoying teen characters.
Oh.
It's kind
of... You say it's very true to the idea. It's like a very, very, very blockbuster sequel.
It is a blockbuster sequel, and that is it is a sequel to a blockbuster. Yes. What do you mean by that?
Okay. I guess what I'm saying is, like, would you call it this is a bad question. I'm sorry. I was just gonna... they introduced teens. That's the new factor, right?
Yes. Yeah. There's a kind of... They sort of Stranger Things it a little bit. In that, like, there's the story of Martin Brody, the police chief from the first movie. Basically, shark happened again, and this time there's no Quint. Hooper's off on a trip to Antarctica, so like there's nobody to back up Brody, and like people get ate again. There's all these like dangling threads of like background elements that seem like there's like some, they're bringing in like new tourism initiatives to help like the island recover from its like bad PR, and like Brody's got PTSD and he's kind of McFucking losing it, and both of those things only kind of happen for like one scene, and they're just kind of like artifacts of earlier drafts of the script.
More interesting drafts of the script.
Yeah. Brody sees a school of bluegills in the water, and it's just like a vague dark shape. And so he like runs down off the observation tower, and he's ringing a bell, and he's yelling at everybody to get out of the water, and he's firing wildly into a crowd full of people on the beach. And then he does get fired for that.
Good. No, Yosemite Samming is a fireable offense.
Yes, yeah. But then it turns out there is a shark actually, and it eats a boat that the teens are on, and it's a little bit of a slasher movie. It's like a proto slasher movie. This came out.
I get that feel with the teens. You're kind of you're upping that element.
Yeah, this is a little early for that, but it's very much like I think it's the same year that Halloween is released, which is sort of the codifier of the slasher genre. Not also the first one, like Black Christmas is before that, and you can point to a million other things. That's
the word I was thinking of earlier. Would you call this movie the codifier of the blockbuster sequel?
Oh, interesting.
Like, in terms of, we're gonna do the first one again, but we don't have everyone back, and just in the very fact that we're doing it like in the exact same way another time, it's got diminishing returns.
I think this might be the first of that.
All right.
What I would characterize as the first good blockbuster sequel might be The Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, like, we're way back in the 70s. What kind of other series are we talking about besides Star Wars, Jaws, and I guess, Planet of the Apes?
I don't think that had as much cultural cachet as it does in your mind, just because you grew up on cable.
I think that's correct.
Okay, so
I grew up on movies that my dad grew up on cable.
Yes. Oh, also in this, I think Jaws kills a killer whale, which
Proving that Jaws is better than a killer whale in the canon of this.
yes, or I think it's never explicitly ruled out that he just scavenged on. Well, she just scavenged on a like already dead killer whale.
So what you're saying is this film does not make the same mistake that Jurassic Park 3 does. It doesn't have a killer whale show up and dethrone Jaws.
Oh, no. No, yes,
Oh,
that's a good point. That's a very good point. Because really, that should happen. Like, in real life, if a killer whale shows up, all the great whites just suddenly mysteriously vanish.
Oh, wow.
Like, they just get the fuck out of town. There's not, like, a rivalry. It's like, no, this is bad news bears.
I wonder if any beaches in the world employ that as a deterrent to sharks. Make a little like decoy, a little straw man killer whale.
Like one of those owls that you put on your deck that's supposed to scare away birds, but it doesn't.
Yeah, like that. Like a little like kind of sub drone that they have propelling back and forth. The problem is that most beachgoers will probably mistake that for a real killer whale.
Yeah. People are dumb. So,
real quick, last question on Jaws 2. Would you say that the tagline is the best part of the movie?
Yeah. I don't think that's wrong.
Just when we thought it was safe to go back in the water, a better movie happened. So, all right. 5 years later.
5 years later, July 22nd, 1983, they release Jaws 3D, which takes place in SeaWorld. At first, this was the first time I had seen this movie. I saw Jaws 2 once in, like, the Gator Face Shapeshifter 1999 era when I was being raised on cable.
Yeah.
But Jaws 3D this is the first time I've seen it.
Do you think something was lost in the 3D to 2D conversion of this film?
Yeah, what was lost was an hour and a half of my fucking time.
It's truly that unforgivable.
Yes, the plot is that bad. Never mind. But
okay,
it takes place at SeaWorld.
It's a SeaWorld, right?
Yeah, it's not a SeaWorld. This is what I was going to get at. It's just regular ass, like, I thought it was going to be like a bland name only, as TV Tropes calls it, like a Nuka-Cola, Ocean Land, not SeaWorld that we can't possibly afford to use. It's like, no, just straight up.
I did not know that.
This takes place in Shamu's house.
All right, so yeah, straight up at SeaWorld.
Yeah, SeaWorld introduces a new attraction, which is a big lagoon that opens up to the open ocean, and you can, like, walk through an underwater tunnel in it and stuff, and, like, there's a little complex and things. And who's working there but Michael Brody, who was an 11-year-old boy in the first movie, and a 17-year-old boy in the second movie set 3 years later.
So clearly he's 22 now. Oh, wait, hang on.
So Michael Brody's dating a person. I forget her name. I think it's Liz.
Okay.
Or it's Kay. I don't remember anything that happens in this movie that I saw this morning. And Sean, his little brother, comes down. And he's, like, in college now, and he starts dating this woman who's a water skier in one of SeaWorld's shows, named Kelly, who's played by Leah Thompson. And what's that circling in the water around us? Oh, it's Leah Thompson. She's acting circles around everyone else in the movie. Louis Gossett Jr. plays, like, the mayor, sort of, kind of, in that he is, like, the guy running the theme park.
Okay.
SeaWorld specifically.
He's the CEO world.
Yeah, there's a lot of shots of, like, SeaWorld bottlenose dolphins and orcas with those sad collapsed dorsal fins. That's like, it's totally normal. It's totally normal and healthy, actually, for these animals to just, like, have part of their body flop over that's not supposed to be like that. That's actually super cool and fine, actually.
It's really funny too, because you're like, I didn't realize how much of a blatant advertisement this was for the theme park, because I got mad at Sharknado 3 back in the day, because it was like, oh man, they really shot this thing like a Universal Studios like advertisements. Like they really played that up, and now I'm less mad at that at that dumb film and more mad at this one.
I'm sure they watched, like, the people that made Sharknado have to have seen all the Jaws movies.
Yeah, right. I think it was fully intentional, which finds it more forgivable in my book.
Yes. So Jaws 3D is the special effects. Like, I'm not one to complain about special effects that often, but like, it's just so bad. It's
not very special, is what you're saying.
It's just truly like so poorly chroma keyed in. Like
this is 83. A little bit before they should have been doing those kind of effects.
Yeah, and 2 years before Back to the Future, which is fucking justice for Leah Thompson, who plays Lorraine in that movie.
Yeah, it's funny that the I think back in this era, like Terminator 2, how people were like really applauding the special effects, and it sounds like they got a little too greedy.
Well, I think it does have to do with the 3D to 2D conversion. But I don't know if 3D movies were that bad. Like, God.
Maybe the whole picture looks better in blue and red.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, but then I'm thinking of that, and unless it's a black and white film, it's like then the whole thing is just chroma keyed incorrectly.
Yeah, yeah. At the end, they win. There's like a 10-foot baby shark that swims in there, and they try and exhibit it, and it dies in like a day, which is what happens when you put great white sharks in captivity.
10-foot baby shark that died, did-do.
It's also crazy because they're like, it's only 10 feet long. It's a baby. And it's like, brother, that is the size of an adult male great white shark in real life from real life.
That is funny.
Yeah, it's like... Because this is Jaws world, where great white sharks are 5 times as big as they're supposed to be.
Yeah, that's 2 humans back to back.
Yeah.
Or shoulder to shoulder.
Well, anybody
feet to shoulder.
Anything can be 2 humans back to back.
I guess that's true.
Yeah, as long as it's between like 4 feet and like 20 feet. People range from 2 to 10 feet tall. This is a fact. I'm thinking of babies and that guy from Guinness Book of World Records. So anyway... The mom shark comes in, and she's 35 feet long, which is bigger than any shark. She's the biggest shark in all of these.
Oh, no.
Which is also fair because great whites in real life, the females are larger.
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah. If Bruce Jaws from the first movie was a real shark, he'd probably be a female in excess of 100 years old to be that size.
Yeah, okay. Sharks be real old, don't they? Like that Greenland shark who's fucking blind now.
Yeah. Yeah, we okay, yes.
I mean, I know a Greenland shark already blind because of the depths that they live at, right? Or but the fact that we stole its eye to determine how old it was is really something like mythically sad. This is like a fairy tale waiting to happen.
Okay, I don't think everybody knows what we're talking about.
Okay.
This is just something that we've gone back and forth in the Discord enough that it's just become something we all understand. So, they did a test on a Greenland shark's eye and found through carbon dating that this animal is like 500 years old.
Yeah, real old shark. But in order to do it, they had to steal its eye.
Adam, I think it was dead. I think they killed it and then took its eye out. I don't think they just found a loose shark eye like Legend of Zelda. Like,
No, hang on. I'm pretty sure the Greenland shark that they took this from is still alive.
I don't think that's true. Okay, time out. We have to Google this.
Greenland shark they stole its eye from.
They did not steal
Still alive.
They absolutely didn't. That didn't happen like that. Why did you think...
Come on, talk to me about this.
Okay, Eye lens radiocarbon reveals centuries of longevity in the Greenland shark, published 2016. Okay, good, this is the paper. Abstract. Radiocarbon dating of islands, nuclei from 28 female Greenland sharks reveal the lifespan of at least 272 years. Only the smallest sharks shown signs of the radiocarbon bomb pulse, a time marker of the early 1960s. This is a true fact that I learned in my malacology internship at the museum, where, like, snail shells, like, we are such an old museum that we have snail shells from Japan from before the Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombings, and then after, and then before and after the 2011 Fukushima disaster. So we can measure the radioactivity in all of those shells relative to each other.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to call this a loose end for later, but I like to live in my fantasy world where I believe that they stole a shark's eye and let him go, and he's plotting revenge in the depths of the sea.
Well, I'm sure they stole her eye via, like, a riddle challenge, right? Yeah. Jaws the Revenge. Not Jaws 4.
No.
Jaws the Revenge. 1987.
Do you think that there was someone that they kicked off the writing team that tried to call this Jaws the Forenge?
I don't think they kicked anybody off this writing team.
Worse than Jaws 3D?
Yes.
Okay, which... Tell me more, because you looked that one up.
Okay, so Jaws the Revenge ignores the events of Jaws 3D. This movie series is 4 movies long, and it's already got a reboot. Like, it takes place...
Is it like the Godzilla films where, like, they just keep the first one as canon and ignore the other ones?
Yes, but I think Jaws the Revenge does also hold Jaws 2 as canon.
Okay, got it.
I think. It's impossible to know.
So it's more of a Terminator it's a Terminator Dark Fate situation where we're keeping the first 2.
Yeah, where it's like Michael Brody has, like, a completely different job than he did in Jaws 3D. Completely different. Like, instead of dating someone 4 years ago, he's now, like, been married for at least 5 years and has a 5-year-old daughter. And the first thing she says is, "Hi, Grandma, I'm 5," to Ellen Brody, who is the main character of this movie. Michael Caine is there, and he's only telling, like, Tangerine stories for the entire time, and, like, that's the bit.
Yeah, Michael Caine famously only talks about this movie in regard to the house that it built.
Good for him. Good for him. Yeah, this is the movie where Adrian Brody does not exist. That's an actor in real life, not a character in the movie. Martin Brody, the police chief, died in between 3 and 4 because he was so hard to work with during the shooting of 2.
Okay, got it.
And so he died of a heart attack. And after Sean, the youngest son, who in this alternate timeline is the police chief, I guess he just got the job through, like, genetics. He gets eaten by a shark during Christmas.
Oh, God.
Yeah, he gets eaten by a shark during Christmas, and Ellen Brody, she McFucking loses it. And she's like, your father and brother are dead, Michael. You've come up from the Bahamas to be with me during Christmas during this time of need? Well, your father and brother are dead. And it's like, yeah, but Dad died of a heart attack. It was the shark that killed him. The fear of the shark killed him. And so she just, like, she just swears a blood vendetta on the shark. And then it's like, why don't you come down with us to the Bahamas? I'm a marine biologist in this fucking Spider-Verse. And so, like, we'll just hang on down at the Bahamas and everything will be fine and normal. And my friend Michael Caine will fly us there, and his name is Hoagie.
Hoagie Caine?
Hoagie Caine. If I go crazy, then will you still call me Hoagie Caine? Tangerine. Whoa. So, yeah, a Hoagie Caine takes her. Rock you like a Hoagie Caine. Are you ready, baby? Okay, Hoagie Caine flies them down to the Bahamas.
I'm gonna call the Sharknado guys. Tell them about Hoagie Caine.
Oh, yeah. Okay, good. Ooh, baby, you're Hoagie Caine every day. All right, we're done. So they fly down to the Bahamas, and, like, I don't know, Mario Van Peebles is there, and he's, like, another marine biologist who's working with Man. and wife is there, and daughter is there, and Ellen Brody from Jaws is there, and Michael Caine is there. And a shark attacks Mario Van Peebles and Man's boat, and then Ellen Brody can, like, she's just, like, on a date with Michael Caine, and she just, like, freezes up, and Michael Caine's like, "What's wrong, love?" And she's like, "Nothing, I'm fine." But she's really getting a psychic vision of this shark who is out for revenge, who followed the Brodies. It's the same shark that killed Sean Brody, who killed the little brother of Man.
Okay.
So he followed Man and Hoagie Kane and daughter and wife and Ellen Brody down to the Bahamas and is, like, hunting them like the Predator. For some fucking reason, it hates this family. I truly don't know why. Like,
I feel like we're about to explore why.
No, that's it.
Oh, okay.
They killed the shark by blowing it up they stab it with a boat and it blows up for no reason.
An Ursula death.
Yes, but Ursula was magic and stuff, so when she explode, it makes sense. The sharks just explode, like...
Do you think perhaps it took on an explosive nature after the original film?
Adam, what does that mean?
I mean, like, died in the first film, blew up. Second time around is kind of a little bit of a bomb. kind of reincarnated with, like, some of the essence of that it died with.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's like, you know, every now, sometimes if Unicron kills Megatron, he'll come back looking a little bit like Unicron.
You know, to use a real world example.
Yeah, right. Just a reference from this past year.
Anyway, so we've been recording for approximately 3 hours now. So, I figured out that in the Back to the Future timeline, where 2015 is different, and they have Jaws 19 in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
Between Jaws and Jaws 2 was 3 years. Jaws 2 to Jaws 3D was 5 years. Jaws 3D to Jaws the Revenge was 4 years. So in order to get to 19 in however many years, you would need to release every 1.8 so years. So what I have done is calculated to the date, the release date of every Jaws movie in between 4 and 19.
So, Allie.
Yes.
I really, really appreciate the precise math that went into this.
Mm-hmm.
However, did you notice another pattern between the first 4 Jaws movies? In the sense that they always release during the summer season.
Yes, I decided, fuck that.
Okay, got it.
We gotta release fucking 15 of these Johns, man. Like, we're not, like, it's not, there's not that many summers in between. Like, I'm sorry.
Alright, fair enough.
Like, we can't release, like, we're gonna have to release, like, 3 in 2014 to pick up the slack. Like, what are we doing?
Sure. Maybe the seasons that they were released reflect their faith in the film.
Possibly. Now, here's the thing.
Because 5 was another summer hit, for sure.
Now, here's the thing. This will be the second time that this happens. Because in 2015, for real, for Back to the Future Day, they released the 30th anniversary DVD, and it was like, or Blu-ray, I guess, and it was like, they put out a trailer for Jaws 19, and they ran through really quick, like, all the intervening stuff, like Jaws 3D, Jaws, It's Personal, Jaws, Robot Jaws, Cyber Jaws, Jaws 50 Shades of Grey. Like, I thought of Jaws 50 Shades of Grey a lot, because that was a joke that they did, and what I came up with was 50 Greats of White, and the line, I don't make love. I swim, and I eat, and I make little sharks. Hard.
First of all, very good.
Thank you.
Second of all, I like that Jaws 50 Shades of Grey is the most 30th anniversary of Back to the Future joke.
Mm-hmm. So, what I don't want to do is just, like, run down... I want to make all these movies, and I want to make them all good. Like, no jokes.
Okay.
No, like, oh, it's like RoboCop, but it's Jaws. Oh, it's like Jurassic Park, but it's Jaws. Oh, it's like Cyber Jaws. No. We're gonna actually do a good job. Just
That is a very, very, very tall order.
for one night only, this podcast is Are You Afraid of the Shark Universe? Let's go.
Oh, God. Good
Okay.
pun, but oh, God.
Jaws 5.
Uh-huh.
Jaws 5. Do you have any ideas? May 30th, 1989.
I love the idea of, like, all right, we're gonna make them good. Better than the 3 sequels that came out. Go ahead, Adam. Go for it.
When you put it like that, that's not a tall order.
I guess not. So, what... It seemed like the other Jaws failed in the sense that they were doing the exact same thing.
Yes.
What if Jaws 5 is a bit of a Halloween 3?
Explain.
Like Halloween 3 Season of the Witch is not a favorite of the Halloween series likers because Michael Myers isn't in it. They treat it like it's an anthology series, like it's something totally different that's happening, and Halloween is the only kind of shared vibe of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, what if we do something that is not, that we spend the first, call it 2/3 of the picture, engaging in a different story, and then all of a sudden, oh, you forgot that it was Jaws. We lured you into a sense of security, but no, actually, it's been Jaws all along.
We're chumming the waters a bit. Yeah.
Last shark film I saw was The Meg 2, which I think ended my AMC Stubbs A-list run.
Mm.
And, they always have to do something coastal, and that's almost getting so saturated in these Jaws pictures. I think that almost the better direction is to, like, what if we told a whole different story, and then a shark ruins at the end, that we don't spend all the time flirting with the idea of a shark going to attack. I'm saying, like, what if this is a drama that's unfolding about a melting permafrost has exposed a forgotten virus that scientists are discovering in the frozen Arctic. And they're kind of racing to, in the middle of a blizzard, to deliver this news of this, and hopefully a sample worthy of creating an antidote to the known world. And it's a kind of a survival flick for a large part of it. But then on the ship leaving the Arctic, we get back into the title of the film, and a shark mercilessly takes them on and becomes a huge obstacle in their journey.
What if it's a Greenland shark?
Yes, good. Maybe that's why it's on my mind. But a Greenland shark is the one that's going on here.
Yeah, I was gonna say like thawed megalodon that was frozen in the ice, but like no, save megalodon.
Yeah. The other series I'm thinking of right now is like the Cloverfield one, where it's like, was it 21 Cloverfield Lane?
Mm-hmm.
It's just it doesn't even like register as a Cloverfield movie initially. Then it's like, oh shit, stuff's happening in this world. And it's kind of like, maybe that's the pitch of it. It's like, oh yeah, sharks in this world there's something wrong with them. There's something wrong with them. And that's, if I was pressed to come up with 14 sequels, that's what comes to mind.
Yes. I think it's like an unfrozen thing that kind of looks like a frilled shark and kind of looks like a Greenland shark.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this almost like sea serpent looking thing, and it's this prehistoric, like, whatever, and it kind of explains, like, no, in this universe, like, sharks are fucking different, and, like, maybe there's something weirdly supernatural going on, almost.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. I'm a fan of hinting at that stuff at this stage, so to pull it into the focus in, I don't know, 5 to 10 films.
Yeah. I think that's a winner. How does the shark die?
Let's see. Similar to Jaws the Revenge, they kind of get it hooked up to the ship, but they have to solve it by running the ship into an iceberg. So it's not just, it's like a capture and then a crash. And unfortunately, it becomes this knowledge of this virus is kind of lost to sea. Okay,
good. That's planting seeds.
Mm-hmm.
Does the virus, like, freeze under the water like the Barbasol can in Jurassic Park, like how it gets covered in mud.
I think that's a good image to close on.
Okay, yeah.
So it's out there.
Yes. April 11th, 1991. The 80s are over. We had one good Jaws movie in the 80s, and it was the one we just did. It was Jaws 5, Cold Virus. Mm-hmm. Jaws 5, Ice... we can't name all of them.
We can just call Jaws 5. That's fine.
Jaws 5, Jaws 5, Frostbite. Jaws,
okay.
Jaws Frostbite. That's it. That's the one. Fuck yeah. Okay. Jaws 6. Jaws 6, 1991. What was going on in 1991?
The Berlin Wall?
Yes. Berlin Wall fell down in 89, and then Russia collapsed in 1991. So I think that this is our last dance for Jaws versus Commie Jaws.
Okay.
Okay.
Are we talking about some kind of Soviet Jaws experiment?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, okay. So, there's a Soviet experiment that makes a shark that can go on land. We can't burn land shark. We cannot burn land shark. We got 15 of these. Okay.
It's just maybe... so is this the one where they're like, what's going on with these sharks? And the Soviets are trying to figure it out. But
yes.
Really, the Soviets are trying to control this, this manic shark genome.
Okay, wait, I've got a perfect solution to this. Mm-hmm. Lake Baikal.
Pardon?
Lake Baikal is the world's deepest freshwater lake, and it is in Siberia.
Ah, okay, got it. Yes.
So, and there's Baikal seals and everything. So what if that's where there's a secret lab where the Soviets have figured out that, okay, there's a bit of, a research thaw, which happened in real life, too. But there's, a bit of a research thaw where, the Soviet and American scientists can finally talk to each other. We gotta figure out what's going on with these fucking sharks. Because,
yeah.
An American scientist, maybe one of the Brodies, I don't know. I don't think any of our movies feature the Brody family anymore. I don't care.
Or they all do. It becomes a kind of dynasty. It becomes a family of mythical Brodies that have to be present, like Van Helsing's.
I think we save that. I think we save the Brodies. If we call in a Brody, that's like calling in the Avengers.
Yeah, I gotcha. So, but yeah, no, this is I think it's a good setting. It's a good, vibe for a shark story. How does the shark die? And what seeds are planted? I guess is the major pieces.
Well, it's a bioweapon, is what it is.
Okay.
It's a bioweapon, and in order to do that, it's a eyeless shark that can see through electric impulses. It sees electricity. Maybe it also lights up on the side like the sharkopaths from Future is Wild. And this strain is supposed to only be able to work in under all the pressure of Lake Baikal, at the very bottom. But it figures out how to get out from under that pressure.
I think you're zooming in a little too close. We have another 9 shark movies to do.
You're right. Okay. But I think this is a. They kill it by. Okay, it's electricity, right? So it's just jam a lightning rod into its head during a thunderstorm and just let God take care of it.
Got it. Nice.
All right.
But yeah, okay.
All right. So this will be Jaws, red water. Red in the water?
Red water's cool. I really like red water.
Red water. Because, communism.
Yeah.
And, blood. Yeah. Okay. Jaws 7. February 21st, 1993. This is going to beat Black Panther by, 55 years, however long it is, in terms of, February releases for blockbuster movies.
I thought this was going to... the more important factor is that this is about 4 months before Jurassic Park changed the movies.
Mm-hmm.
So... Is this one Shark Park?
That's kind of the third one.
Oh, yeah, I guess we're already there. Okay. Jaws 7, February. Valentine's Day picture.
Okay. A shark movie you can take, like, it's like a thriller kind of like
Yeah.
high and adrenaline thing that you can take like a date to for Valentine's Day is the pitch.
That's my thinking.
It is released a week after Valentine's Day.
That's the tagline. It's like, just when you thought it was safe to get out of Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Now,
yeah.
The last two ones are cold weather times.
Mm.
So what's your shot for this one?
It's a full on. We're back in the summertime vibes. We're back on the beach. It's like an island getaway. It's almost pitched like a romantic comedy for the early parts of it. I think that's a good way to introduce elements that haven't been in these properly.
Stop. However this movie ends up shaking out, I have a title.
Oh, great.
Jaws. Love bites.
Yes.
Layup, easy.
Mm-hmm.
Don Caccino, let's go.
Romantic comedy that the shark takes over, but in a way that makes that the couple survives.
Oh.
Yeah, the shark dies by way of... Actually, the shark doesn't die in this one. The shark finds a mate.
Aw, cute.
Yeah. I think that the only way for this franchise to have this many legs is to just we gotta do one of everything. We need a kids movie here at some point.
No, I think it's a pair of marine biologists who are dating.
Yeah.
And they're the main couple. And they realize the only way to get this shark to stop attacking people is to get it laid. And so they take it to Vegas.
Yeah. Okay, good. That's all I think we have to say about Love Bites.
Yeah. Okay.
Jaws 8.
This is the first Jaws I am alive for. This is the first Jaws both of us are alive for, actually.
Yeah, correct.
January 4th, 1995. New Year's Jaws. Time Jaws. Are we going to explain the time discrepancies?
In what happens in the Jaws pictures?
Yes. Okay. In an early draft of Jaws 4, it was revealed that the shark is under, it's cursed by a voodoo practitioner to hunt the Brody family for some reason. Like, the curse takes the form of a shark, I guess. We don't have to do that, because that's not what voodoo is, and that's not how that religion works. But I think I got it. So after the failure of Jaws the Revenge, I've decided Jaws, Frostbite, Red Water, and Love Bites all occur in different locations. Jaws 8, I think, finally goes back to Amity Island.
Okay, got it.
Sean and Michael, the year after the first Jaws movie, they find an old clockmaker's shop, and there's a mysterious old man, and they go back in time to just the summer prior, and they try and fucking make fix it. From their position as a 5-year-old and an 11-year-old, it's okay, our job is to make sure that Alex Kinter and all of the Jaws victims don't die.
Okay, full on. Yeah. What's the? It's Jaws 8 Flashpoint.
Yeah. Well, it's like a Stand By Me. It's no, maybe they recruit some other their friends. They Days of Future Past back into their old selves. Jaws 8 Legacy. I feel like we can top that.
Okay. Let's see. So Days of Future Past is a fun one. I'm thinking of a playful title Back to the Future.
Shark to the Future. Well, this also takes place after all 3 Back to the Future movies have happened.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like Groundhog Day, actually, also.
Jaws again.
Jaws.
It's tough to name and pitch all of these.
Time enough at Shark. Time bites, time, Jaws, time, shark, time, meal time, dinner time.
I mean, we could call it simply like Jaws Return to Amity Island, and you return in more ways than one, you know?
Yeah, okay. Alright. Jaws 1.5.
Great.
Jaws return to Amity. Amity, as you know, means friendship.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the other thing. Like, in the year afterwards, the brothers, Adam, the brothers have split apart. And so they need to return to Amity.
Yeah, that's good.
Like, they need to return to being friends again because, like, they both, like, they hate each other now for whatever reason. Because they've been fighting.
I like it.
Okay.
I have a Jaws 9 for you.
Okay. Shoot.
Jaws. Quint's Revenge.
Whoa. Okay.
He's back as a ghost.
Yo, pirate ghost. He's kind of a pirate.
Pirate ghost, and he's waging war on sharks.
Yes.
It's a reverse of the first film.
Wait, can the sharks talk? Does this take place from the shark's perspective?
This is an animated kids film.
Oh, wow. Wait, yo, that's insane.
2D animated kids film that takes place from the shark's perspective.
I think Jaws Return to Amity, like, fucks up the timeline in such a way where it's like, you know...
The people behind the scenes, they were like, look, we can't deal with that right now. We need to make one of these every 1.8 years. Let's crank out a kid's picture.
It's basically saying, like, the end of Jaws Return to Amity is basically saying, like, look, none of the Jawses take place in the same continuity, and all of them take place in the same continuity. It is not, like, a shared universe. It's kind of like whatever the fuck you want to be the continuity, that's it.
Yeah, right.
So Quint's Revenge coming in and spinning off, like, a radically different, like, animated children's picture is, like... It's like how Marvel put out the What If animated thing. It's like, alright, well, now that the multiverse, the Jawsiverse, is broken, like... the possibilities are endless, so you gotta take, like, a crazy shot like Quint's Revenge.
Yes. So, I also have a Jaws 10 pitch for you.
Okay.
Jaws X, it's Jason X in this universe.
No.
Okay.
No. I'm gonna veto that. It's too stupid.
Okay, but what about the name Jaws X, though?
Yes, it will be named Jaws X, and it will be about the letter X. I don't know if it's got to be like
Jaws X is about pirates. This one.
Oh,
it's a period piece, kind of like it's a period piece, kind of like the what's the Predator movie that came out, and it goes back to old pirate times, and it's about how there have always been sharks like this.
That's amazing! Oh my god! And like one of the pirates last name is Brody.
Yes, yeah,
it's their ancestor. Yes.
Of course, yeah.
And what if he pisses off a shark?
Ooh.
What if he pisses off a shark or a wizard or something in pirate times, and that's why the family is cursed by sharks?
We see the curse happen.
Who's the person?
In this picture.
Okay, in the Scars scene. In the scene where, like, Hooper and Quint are, like, sharing Scar stories in the first Jaws movie, Martin Brody, like, pulls up his shirt a little bit, and then, like, thinks better of it, but he's going to reveal, like, the implication there is that he's going to reveal that he was shot.
Ah, yeah.
You know what other movie Spielberg directed?
Hook?
West Side Story. A story about a gang. A story about a gang, and what's that gang's name?
The Sharks.
The Sharks. And also the Jets, but, like, he was shot by one of the sharks. Like, that's how deep this curse go.
Oh, yeah, I see. Now I'm back on board.
Yes.
Your brain and mind went in two very different directions talking about Spielberg pirate films. Okay.
Well, that's not... West Side Story is not a pirate film.
I disagree.
Okay,
let's
Jaws 11.
Approach that another day.
Jaws 11.
Jaws 11.
Released August 11th, 2000. Back to the summer releases.
Okay. For a second, I thought that was a year later, and all kinds of things were jumping in my head.
Oh, I wait for that. So, I think this is Jaws Y2K. This is year 2000 Jaws.
Yeah.
And to that end, I think it should be called Jaws 2000.
I agree with that.
That's what everything was called back then.
Yes, Jaws 2000. any notes on Jaws 2000, or are we just saying it exists? Is this the one no one talks about? I guess we tried really hard to make good Jaws films, but then one slipped by. It's like this is the one that the fans like are kind of ashamed of.
Do you think maybe this one is just? I don't want to do like the ones that's like this one's just Deep Blue Sea. Like I don't know. Should we just like cop out like that and just say like, oh, this one is just Deep Blue Sea, but it's Jaws?
I think it's more like this one is like a stoner comedy that we were really, we had to do for some contractual obligation, but no one is proud of what happened here.
I think this one might be like, yes, it is a stoner comedy, and also it's like these like two like year 2000 tech bros, so not as toxic yet, maybe, question mark, I'm not sure. But like it's two stoner like tech guys, and they work in IT, and they're like future-proofing for the Y2K problem. And also Jaws is a thing. It takes place, oh my god, Adam, you know those cables that run under the ocean?
Oh.
Right? That make the internet work, and sharks eat them sometimes?
A Jaws bites it into it, and then gets turned into digital code.
No, a shark... Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. I was gonna say a shark bites into it, and that shark bite and the seawater getting into it makes it so that they can't implement a key, like, piece of code that they have to upload before the year 2000.
Oh, okay.
So, like, they have to so the shark bites it and gets sucked into a computer, maybe, and they also have to go into cyberspace after the shark.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking pure on, like, you know, this is there's other kinds of sharks, you know. And it's like, yeah, no, it's fighting the a digital shark.
And then they do, and by blowing up the shark, by like getting it to click on a pop-up.
No, it's not. I think they trap the shark in a recycling bin.
Yes, okay, they put the shark in a recycling bin and press delete forever, and when it does, like, all the code gets released, and then, like, the Eiffel Tower lights back up, and there's, like, the Statue of Liberty lights up also, and it's like all the buildings were dark, and they light up again, they have to.
The eyes on Mount Rushmore light up, and everyone's like, wait a second.
The Golden Gate Bridge lights up. The Great Pyramids light up.
Oh no, they shoot beams into the air, and everyone's like, oh shit.
And it's like, Happy New Year, year 2000, yay! The Great Barrier Reef lights up. There's a cave in the Great Barrier Reef that lights up, and a voice just says, finally. Cut to black.
Alright, great.
Okay.
Jaws Unleashed.
Yes, so in the year 2002, in real life, in our timeline, the Jaws franchise released a PS2 game called Jaws Unleashed. I've not played it. I don't know what the game's about, but I wanted to use that title.
And I'm fine skipping one, so great.
That's wait. What happens? What happens when Jaws is unleashed?
Well, I thought there was a PS2 game.
No, this one's real. This one's a movie.
An existing PS2 game?
No. The movie is called Jaws Unleashed, but it's a movie. In this timeline. Okay. A virus kills... No, I'm doing silly. Well, Jaws 2000 was already extremely silly.
Yeah, but I think after the silly one, they want to ground it. So they do Jaws Unleashed, and they go back to the virus plot line from Jaws Frostbite that was dropped.
Bingo. Okay.
There's a virus that's taking over, that's like a virus that's infecting the world. People are going through, and they're doing an expedition to the ship from the Frostbites that had this, and they have call-outs to Red Water and the Soviets, like stuff. It's kind of like a full-on like an action sequel. Like we're making this happen, and they fight all kinds of different sharks along the way.
It's very Mission Impossible.
Very Mission Impossible. Yeah.
Oh wait. This is where I wanted to get, like, first up, fighting different kinds of sharks is interesting. Do you mean like different kinds of real sharks, or different kinds of like our fantasy Jaws world sharks?
I was saying real sharks. Like,
okay.
They basically, it's a globe-trotting adventure where they meet all different sharks that have these different quirks.
Okay. So one major plot element in this movie, in the original draft, is that they have to... This movie is released on June 23rd, 2002.
Yes.
I think there was a draft of this movie that was filmed...
At the World Trade Center.
It was filmed. They have to fly a plane into the World Trade Center for some reason. And then it happened in real life, and they're like, we have to reshoot this. So I think Jaws Unleashed is not successful.
Yeah, so they have to take in a very different direction because of how the work that they did behind the scenes to cover that up.
They have to swerve at the last minute.
Yeah. So that, I have a pitch for you. That, direction caused a huge shift in tone here.
Mm-hmm.
And Jaws 13, 14, and 15 are what Christopher Nolan directs instead of the Batman Begins trilogy.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
He does basically what he does to Batman. He does to Jaws what he did to Batman.
Okay. So I think this might be a good time to bring in what I've written down here in another tab, which is Peter Benchley had some working titles for the Jaws novel.
Oh, really? I thought... yes. So, what's it? The Stillness in the Water?
The Stillness in the Water, Leviathan Rising, The Jaws of Death, and The Jaws of Leviathan.
I think that... Yes. Except in Batman Begins order.
Yes, okay, so like the last two are Leviathan Rising and Jaws of Leviathan, like Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises.
Yes.
Ooh, or it could be called Leviathan Rises.
Yeah, Leviathan Rises, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely it.
Okay, so...
the Jaws of Death I want to hang on to for a minute.
Okay. So what if it's Jaws Begins?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's it about?
I was gonna... we can't do the Batman thing with the shark.
No.
But can we do it with, like, it's a retelling of Adrian Brody.
Of Adrian Brody, human actor in real life. I think Adrian Brody does play, Adrian Brody does play Martin Brody.
Yeah, Adrian Brody is cast as Martin Brody.
Yeah. Thank God we squared that circle.
It's about his life after developing a fear of sharks at a young age.
Mm-hmm.
And how he turns that into a life of fighting crime.
Oh, wait. So you mean Michael Brody? You mean the son?
Yeah, Michael Brody.
The son who is man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Adrian Brody plays Michael Brody.
Michael Brody, the son, who has to basically turn his fear of sharks into crime fighting. I guess what I'm saying is that it's like, it's one of those modern sequels that it's like a Rise of the Planet of the Apes, where it's like, look, we're gonna be telling a shark-based story here, but we're going to be adopting themes and motifs and little aspects of it to tell a wholly different story.
Okay. He fights crime.
That's I don't know. It's 3 movies of fighting crime and different threats that come to the beach. But it's all grounded like the Batman movies.
Only beach crime.
It's only beach crime. Yes. Yeah. No. It's
only.
It's like It starts with like pollution,
mm-hmm.
and and cleaning up the beach. Then the second one addresses like overfishing.
Okay.
and it's like a huge political squabble, and the third one's a little more cartoony. I'm trying to think of a third beach crime. That harkens back to the first one, or did I shoot my load with overfishing?
Wait, overfishing, pollution, littering. I guess. Well, that's pollution again. Okay, so it's like a Captain Planet sort of thing.
Yeah, I guess
it's like a kids movie. Yes, because Jaws Unleashed was like too they swerved really hard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm stuck on this is what Christopher Nolan did instead. So it's like I'm just thinking of a world where Batman, the Dark Knight trilogy doesn't exist, and instead there was 3 Jaws movies made.
Yeah, I don't Here's the thing: is Chris Nolan doesn't really direct very child-oriented movies.
Yeah, they're all just like superhero ones. So I guess that's the energy that I have for him.
So it's like edgy superhero, but not a real superhero. It's the kid from Jaws.
I'm trying to replace bats with sharks.
Mm.
You know,
Sharks frighten me.
sharks. Yeah, you get it.
Yeah.
Eddie, he dresses up like a shark and goes in the water and attacks crime families on big yachts and stuff like that.
Remember how I said I didn't want these to be goofy? But okay.
But I feel like we ran into that like about 3 Jawses ago.
Okay. Jaws
and we still have like 6 more. So
Jaws begins. The Shark Knight. The Shark Knight rises. Shark begins. Jaws begins. Batman begins. Well, Batman is the more recognizable name, and it's Jaws. So okay. Oh, they're both named Bruce.
Yeah, I could put that together in my brain.
Why did you say that name?
All right. So after my experiment there, they well, who's coming in now?
I think it's still Chris Nolan.
You think he is apologizing for what happened in The Shark Knight Rises?
I think a little bit. Like, he's trying to pivot from Jaws Unleashed, which only happened 7 years ago, and people's attention span is not that quick in this decade.
Yeah.
But here's the thing about the 2000s. Extremely patriotic decade.
Ooh, yeah, we do need to hit that note for sure.
Yeah, we're kind of glossing over that, and I think Universal being like a few steps behind and like doing it in the last year of that decade on December 10th, 2009. I would have seen this like for my birthday that year probably, because that's my birthday's on the 11th. But I think Jaws 16. I think this is the one where we go back and do the one Jaws prequel, sequel thing that I think everybody's kind of thought of it, including, and I looked this up, Steven Spielberg, after I had the idea.
Okay.
It's a prequel about Quint's time on the Indianapolis.
Oh, okay. A prequel for shooting back to then.
Yeah, it's a story about, like, in a world war, like, an evacuation that doesn't quite go well, and also about the nuclear bomb. Like, these are some points
right. that also matches really well with the Christopher Nolan, like, history flicks that he does nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
He really wanted to do that.
Oh, can we call it Jaws of Death? We could call it Jaws of Death.
If you're cool with that, I think that makes there's a double entendre there in talking about war and lives lost.
Okay. Yeah, the Jaws of Death, or I could say the stillness in the water, just because it sounds more World War II-y.
That does sound pretty World War II-y.
Right? I say we do that, and then we save Jaws of Death for something else.
Okay. Well, we already got 2 left.
Okay. Jaws Ultimate Predator, which was a Wii and 3DS game in our timeline, released on October 23rd, 2011.
Jaws is bitten by a xenomorph?
I did also think of that. Yes.
Oh, really?
Well, the problem is that Jaws is a Universal property.
Okay.
And Alien and Predator are both Fox.
Okay. But this is before the Fox buyouts.
Yes, but that was also Disney bought Fox, not Universal.
Yeah, right.
So
I know that. I guess I'm saying before then maybe they had a little more energy. But did you have anything in mind for this Wii 3DS title stolen from?
Well, here's the thought: is that the Shark Knight Rises, and I feel like the Shark Knight Rises starts like DC's trend of like fucking up. Like, because you know what else happened in 2008 in movies was Iron Man.
Yeah, so now they're like, shit, we gotta... No one's paying attention to Jaws anymore. The MCU's kicking off. Yeah, so we need Jaws Ultimate Predator. Oh, this is Megalodon. Yeah. Yep, this is Megalodon, and like Michael Brody from Shark Knight Rises has to team up. They got to Adrian Brody, who plays him, to do it, and he's really like, I thought I was done with this. So he doesn't put in a great performance. Yep. Honestly, what you're pitching here feels a lot like the Meg films that we actually got. Yeah, Quint's ghost is also there. Yeah. They bring it in and try to tie it together, but it's like there's been too much Jaws that's happened. You're moving too fast. They released the Redwater Jaws. Yeah. Wait, no, this is good. Okay, I think that's like the Avengers 1 kind of level thing, and it takes place in a half-flooded New York. Nice. Yeah. Great idea to bring the sharks to New York. All right. So we got two more. Jaws 19 was just called Jaws 19, right?
Yes, it was. So Jaws 18. Maybe that's also just called Jaws 18.
Yeah, maybe they. I keep saying like get back to basics, but Jaws 19 had the tagline, "This time it's really, really personal," which tells me that Jaws 18 is a very similar movie whose tagline was, "This time it's really personal."
Oh, that's a good point, because Jaws the Revenge's tagline was just "This time it's personal." So Jaws 18 was "This time it's really personal." I think this one does not have a shark in it.
It's just...
It's just about the people on the island and like their problems and their worries.
Well, it's kind of the plot line that you said was aborted in Jaws 2, where it's like it's just a PTSD from all these sharks.
Oh, wait.
What's haunting the people there.
Actually, yeah, the shark is in the mind.
And this time it's really personal. It's like being honest about what it is.
It's like people are starting to like maybe Michael Brody or someone is just like starting to McFucking lose it, and they're like he's like running down, firing his gun, Yosemite Samming at the streets and stuff.
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
No,
yes.
I like that.
Good. So like there will still be shark attack scenes and stuff that you will see, but it's all like in people's minds, like in Breaking Dawn Part 2.
Yeah. But now, Jaws 19. Directed by Steven Spielberg's son,
Max Spielberg. Released July 17th, 2015. Don't know why it's still showing in October. I think maybe that's the holographic showing.
Yeah, I think... Oh, you think it was, like, updated for holo film?
Yeah, like it tours conventionally first, and then, like, it makes its run at, like, state theaters and, like, Holomax theaters.
Yeah, like how they made that, like, the Phantom Menace, they made, like, a 3D version of it.
Yeah, they did do that.
Yeah, okay. But I like the idea that this is kind of a, Tales from Earthsea is a movie that we watched.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because it's like, oh, Studio Ghibli, you know, like Hayao Miyazaki. When in reality, it was directed by Goro Miyazaki, the son of Hayao Miyazaki. And I think it was one of the lesser Miyazaki flicks that we watched.
Yes, absolutely.
So I think that, honestly, I think that that's the vibe I get from Jaws 19, especially with the tagline, "This time it's really, really personal." It's Spielberg's son comes in to try and, pull it off, and only can, like, make a very bad sequel referential to the first film, like, kind of doesn't care about all the stuff that has happened in between.
Yeah, what if it's like, this is just straight up a remake of Jaws 1?
Yeah, I really think that that's what it is. It's a Pokemon the movie 2000, 2020, or whatever they did then. When they, like, maybe they just remade it in, like, CG, and everyone's like, why did you do this?
It's also crazy because this is 2015. That means this is the 40th anniversary.
Yeah, so that's what they did for the 40th, then.
Yeah, they just remade it. And it was bad. The shark still looks fake.
Yes.
Okay, so that's what Jaws 19 is about.
So we've been going for well over an hour.
Mm-hmm.
I see you have more Jaws films listed here.
Yes, because it's been a while since 2015, hasn't it? So Jaws 20 comes out in 2017. That one is about Leviathan. That one's called The Jaws of Leviathan, and that is about Jaws becoming like a kind of embodiment of the biblical Leviathan from Bible. And then Jaws 21, released in 2019, is called Leviathan Rising, and it's about Jaws is kind of mutating into a great sea serpent who's going to remake the world. And that's sort of like, you know, this is kind of like Infinity War and Endgame.
Yeah, I dig it.
Yeah, okay. And then in February 2021, there was a making of musical, like a making of musical about Jaws, simply called Bruce, that was put on Broadway in 2020. That was delayed to June 21st, 2022 due to COVID. I think it was also delayed due to June 1st, 2022 due to COVID, but this one's a movie musical called Bruce.
Nice.
Yep. And then...
We have what? Jaws of Death?
Jaws of Death. Robert W. Morgan.
Jaws of Death. I feel like Jaws of Death should be followed up by a film called The Jaws of Life.
Yes, that's Jaws 23 and 24. Jaws of Death and Jaws of Life.
Yeah.
And that's another duology.
Okay, another duology occurs at the end of and that's up to linear time, isn't it?
Well, I think Jaws of Death is about like it's like a Daybreaker situation where humanity actually kills so many sharks out of revenge for what happened in Jaws Endgame in Leviathan Rising, or in the Jaws of Leviathan or whatever, that Leviathan Rising then Jaws of Leviathan. But humanity's so pissed off about what happened in the last movie that they start killing all sharks indiscriminately. As a consequence, there's a trophic cascade effect where the shark doesn't eat the fish that eat the little fish that eat the phytoplankton. There's a huge like population boom of phytoplankton, and it like craters out the population. There's not enough fucking oxygen being produced by all of those photosynthetic organisms, and it is just like, it's just runaway greenhouse, like apocalypse times happens. Just a complete ecological collapse of the whole planet.
Okay, got it.
And the Jaws of Life is about bringing them back.
Oh.
We gotta bring back the sharks.
Yeah, and now like a good vibes recovering from the apocalypse film.
Yeah, it's like Jaws becomes the ultimate monster, and then humanity becomes the monster, and then we undo all of that, and we get back to, okay, sharks are animals. Like, we all have to live on this planet together, and it's a good message.
Yeah, like, I think I like the fact that it's arriving several years late from our shark episode, which I would call, like, really highlighting the message of sharks are good.
Yeah.
So I think it's about right for Hollywood. It's like, hey, sharks are good. Message arrives. Wait, like 20-some Jaws movies in.
Mm-hmm. And then we would all be gearing up for Jaws 25 in September 28th, 2026. I feel like there's an opportunity there for, like, you could put that line in the trailer. That's a 20-footer. 25.
That is a good tagline for the poster. All right, we did it.
Yeah.
Good job.
We did that.
Yeah. What a Jaws calendar.
What a true...
I like the idea of it's like AMC, like this series is as popular as the MCU, so they have like, screenings of them like corner to corner and people are just dying during them.
What's your favorite one of all of these?
Honestly, Quint's Revenge. Maybe I have a soft spot for it, growing up with it.
Right. I forget what Jaws X is about completely. Oh, pirates. Oh, no, I think I might like the pirates one.
Pirates.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe that's like a spin-off. Like that's what Pirates of the Caribbean's about.
They were really cooking from Jaws. from Jaws, what's it, 8 through 10? Let me tell you.
It's almost like that's when we were still within the bounds of a typical Finding Monster Right episode before we started panicking.
Yeah, I think it's been panic for the last 23 minutes.
Okay. I'll fill it. Yeah, I stopped
good.
editing the spreadsheet. I'll fill them all in when I go to edit this episode.
Nice. Well, thank you for joining us on our Jaws expedition. You can hear more shark nonsense from us and at our Discord. Link down in the description.
Thank you for joining us, everybody. I don't know how many episodes we're doing for January this year, but
keep the beachy vibes alive.
We did do 19 movies.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
Come on now. You've had enough.
Maybe we'll see what happens. But yeah.
All right. 1, 2, 3.
Farewell and adieu, fair little monsters.
Ladies.
Farewell and adieu, you listeners
song is quite
podcasts, for we've received orders for to sail back to Boston,
North Dakota.
And so never more shall we see you.
Seeds again.
Garbage from a toilet.